All right, we're back. Video 3 here. So, a good question was asked of me, just kind of about getting your fingers kind of, when you're starting out, for sure your fingers will like snag on the strings a little bit. It's good to kind of have a percussive stroke, like through the strings. Like you want to go right through the strings, and maybe even like angle your finger in a way that's better suited for that, for when you stroke. So when you're going down, you're kind of like whipping your hand down like that. A good lesson that I've heard before is to pretend like you have like a wet rag in your hand. I'm using a piece of paper. But like if you're holding a wet rag in your hand and you're trying to like wring the water out of the rag, kind of like that, and that's kind of like the stroke that you want. And you can see kind of like I've got a lot more in my hand, in my wrist, than in my elbow. My elbow is kind of starting the momentum a little bit, but the whole stroke is really in my wrist. So so when you stroke, when you play the strings, you you want to do it kind of with some authority, and it takes a touch. You have to learn the touch. You're not just going to start off with it, So, use your ears and your, senses to kind of fine tune it, but it's going to take a while. It doesn't just happen overnight, especially if you haven't been playing an instrument very long, or, if you're more or less new to it. So you definitely want to concentrate on that, right? So. You get the idea, and really practice that. Like I can't stress enough, constantly check your tuning with that website that I'll probably post it again here, but constantly check your tuning. Make sure you're in tune. That way what you're playing is what you should be hearing as far as the notes go, And then what you want to do also, another big tip that I could give is, when you press on the strings and you do chord shapes, it's important that you put your fingers in the right places, but it's also equally important that you don't press on the strings you don't want to press on, or accidentally mute those strings by touching them, and that's just something, it's just a muscle memory, it's just you train in muscle memory. And that's why I really highly recommend just really playing with these chords that are, the first, the C, G, A minor, C in this song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So I really, really recommend, stick with the fundamentals and really, really get the changes down, and listen with your ears. And and when you do the chords, you should also kind of make sure that you're, and I'm doing the C right now, make sure that you're pressing down the strings right, like that, this one string that you fret, but also not touching any of the other strings. So when you go for the G, it's important that your ring finger doing the G here doesn't touch the other two strings. So kind of get your fingerings down and make sure you can hear all four strings. Like that. So I can't stress that enough. And if you're having trouble tuning by ear with that tuning website, the gettune.com, it would behoove you to get a tuner. And there's so many different tuners out there on the market. When you're just learning, you could get by with a $20 or $30 tuner. But I'm a pretty stickler of a gearhead, and I would recommend doing some research on tuners. I mean, if you can swing it, the one that I would recommend is the Strobo tuner, and I can't really think of the company that makes it, but they're fantastic tuners. I actually have a little IntelliTouch. Those are also really good. The white one is, you know, phenomenal for the price. That's a great tuner, and it's super easy to use. So the IntelliTouch tuner is fantastic too. The black one, the only difference is you can program it, and I find that a lot of the stuff that you can program on the black IntelliTouch, you know, it's not going to be helpful for the ukulele. You know, and basically it's just for tuning in different ways. Like, people tune in different ways, whether they're using a more open chords at the nut here, or if they're using more bar chords. And you know, people just that are really big sticklers might benefit from that black one. And that's the one I have, but I hardly use any of those features. I just I will maybe kind of tweak my strings a little bit, you know, if I'm really feeling like, you know, sensitive to the off tuning of you know, playing different ways on the instrument. So, and I don't usually do that on the ukulele anyway, so that's just kind of the way that is. But so yeah, really practice the So yeah, that's just kind of what I'd recommend, is really stick with, you know, those are really simple chords, and stick with kind of getting the changes down, and certainly don't expect you to be able to do it, you know, the way I'm able to do it, because I've been playing the ukulele for 5 years now. So, but I'm trying to keep it more or less simple, and just kind of, you know, you want to play really slow too, if that's what you need to do. Because sounding good is more important than anything else. Playing fast, you know, and getting it down is important. So, and of course I'm speaking to the, you know, extreme beginner, you know, people who just picked it up. So, and I'm playing the intro, you know, so the first, if you look at the tab for Somewhere Over the Rainbow that I posted on one of the other 2 previous videos, and the intro is the first 2 chord progressions there. So practice that, and then we'll play the whole song in the next video, right?